Someone has snuck out a second codcast. Luckily, it's short, so won't take as long to do.
Tuna.
My sweet, I've come to save you. I have a devious plan.
Oh, great.
Mr. UK TikTok.
Has a plan. Why don't you tell it to
Paul and Jay.
here?
Paul? Jay? Listen up. We're going to give the aliens the old switcheroo. You mean? Correct. I found a giant, hideous ape that looks exactly like
Tuna.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Also warning, the following feature is a parody taking the piss out of a codcast and the lies it contains. So if you're a Karen or a Kevin supporter, write a nice long bitchy essay. Screw that essay up, cover it with deep heat, and stick it up your ass without any lubricants.
I just ate this little tuna fish, I do not fit. Life's so cold and make y'all it. I just ate this little tuna fish, I do not fit. Life's so cold and make y'all it. I just ate this little tuna fish.
Welcome to another episode of Tanya's Talk, and thank you for listening.
Oh, hell no!
This episode comes with a trigger warning due to extremely sensitive research looking at what goes on behind the scenes of TikTok.
You serious?
No, what you mean is you have looked at Google and you're just quoting from the worst you can find, like you have done with everything else in the past.
Let's start with the TikTok algorithm.
Okay.
When we open a TikTok account, the algorithm will look at your data, such as age, and the algorithm will find what it thinks would be most suited to you. This should therefore deliver different content if I were 14 to if I was 40. I did in fact put this to the test by creating an account as a 14-year-old. The first 2 or 3 videos were cooking videos, and then the next one was about a fire that had broken out in London, followed by knife crime, and then a video about a trap house.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
The first ad I received was for diazepam. then every ad from there was an antidepressant ad. As a 14-year-old girl, maybe I'd rather have seen funny content, hair, makeup, maybe even a bit of drama.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
But the For You page was like a news page. I was able to create this account as a 14-year-old, as TikTok does not require any identification upon opening an account.
I'm gonna say what everyone else is thinking. Why a 14-year-old? Must be Nitty's influence. Anywhere. Let's get into where you're lying about the TikTok algorithm, as you're totally wrong. It's a similar algorithm that YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram use. Social media, not just TikTok, use 3 main things to decide your For You feed: what you search and watch, who and what you interact with, and your device settings. So when you start an account on a social platform, the only things available for the algorithm to decide your FYP is your device, where you're located, and things you do on your phone. For example, when Vegas starts a new account, it always be football and joke pages that appear, and also American, especially news in Las Vegas and California. Don't believe me, viewers? Try it yourself. So with what your algorithm is suggesting when you create an account, it tells us things you're Googling and watching on your phone away from TikTok: knife crime, depression, medication, a lot of that you have been referencing in previous codcasts, so just shows you're talking bullshit, again.
In December 2020, a 12-year-old girl filed a lawsuit against TikTok.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Here we go again. Tuna not reading an article properly. If she had, she would see that the girl was proposing to sue TikTok. The only thing that has been done in this potential case is a separate hearing which has allowed the girl to stay anonymous. So at this moment in time, there is no case. Nothing has been filed. So just like a previous codcast where Tuna was spreading misinformation about trolling cases, today's is much of the same.
Which is being brought under the General Data Protection Regulation and the UK's Data Protection Act 1998, calling for increased protection for children aged 16 and under.
Can you smell that? What is that? Sheep, is it? It's cows? No, I know what it is. It's bullshit.
Misquoting law again. GDPR is the Data Protection Act. They are not separate, and what you're quoting has nothing to do with the 12-year-old but an EU and a UK case stemming from 2018 through 2020. The only link between the two is the time frame and the type of leaked data. Both are only referring to specialized data. Simply put, that means race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, political affiliations, health, etc. It's nothing to do with bank details, addresses, telephone number. So again, another codcast with dangerous misinformation spread by a fish who cherry picks for her narrative and obviously doesn't research. If you ever end up in court, you will be humiliated by a lawyer.
The lawsuit is to include damages on behalf of millions of children in the UK. However, a spokesperson for TikTok disagreed and stated that they intend to defend the action.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
You have misquoted and completely changed the facts to fiction. It's not a lawsuit. It's a notice of intent. That is just a posh way of saying we are looking at fining you for breaking these set rules set under UK laws and acts. Rule A, B, C, D, for example. What TikTok have said, or they are going to respond formally as they disagree. Tuna has completely disregarded that Instagram got fined for breaking the same data laws against children, and is only targeting TikTok. Again, Tuna really needs to read and understand what she is quoting. What has made me really laugh is her misquoting of GDPR, as there are people in the fields of NHS, police, teaching, financial, and insurance, just to name a few, that have to take a GDPR course every year to stay in their job. They all will agree Tuna is talking crab farts.
In Italy, TikTok were ordered to remove any users under the age of 13. With more than 1.6 million social media accounts owned by children using false ages, some came with catastrophic consequences.
If you don't like it, that's tough shit, you know?
So Tuna mentions Italy, but has decided to quote an incident in America, not Italy, as the reason why, so now making false news misinformation.
10-year-old sadly suffocated whilst doing the challenge with
You didn't need to mention her name. There was no need. You could just have said a 10-year-old female. You have just desecrated her by doing this and disrespected her family. You're just vile. And on top of that, you're using her incident which happened in America as though it's part of the Italy issue, which it's not. So you also false reporting on what happened.
her cousin, who said they saw the game on TikTok and YouTube.
So not just TikTok then. Maybe you really need to read the report and tell the truth, so that makes you what you're saying so morally wrong to the family and her memories. You really need to shut up because you're going to upset a family member of an incident you quote one day.
The game took the lives of 82 minors when it first appeared in 2008.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Are you stupid or something?
So as you see, total lies and misinformation. A report in 2008 identified 82 probable endings between 1995 and 2007, not 2008 as Tuna just lied about. Also in 2008, TikTok wasn't about. The social media thing was still young. Facebook, MySpace was still going strong, and people would use Microsoft and Yahoo Live to chat. Before Vegas even got to editing this section, he was talking about this challenge with official TikTok drama, as that challenge was about when they were school kids, so even before 1995, and there was very limited forms of social media in the late 90s.
Tuna, please learn to not read from Google. It pisses us off as it makes your mind Google. You then make up lies from the stories you read, but it's all total bullshit as we know you're brain dead.
Parents sued TikTok and ByteDance. However, courts deemed they had immunity under the Communications Decency Act, which secures platforms from being liable for content published.
Part of this
Would you please shut the hell up?
What the is wrong with you?
Here we go again. Tuna the lawyer misquoting law and legal cases. Tuna is quoting two different cases as though they are the same case. First case is only two parents who suing TikTok over a dangerous challenge, yet both parents knew their underage per guideline children were using the app. Certain points were raised which scuppered any case, and also raises parental issues which are widespread. Firstly, they were trying to blame social media for a trend that had been around over 20 years. The second issue was that both children were of single-digit age, had cell phones with unrestricted and unsupervised use. Under US federal law, they are both lucky they didn't receive criminal negligence charges, which are Category 3 felonies. As parents, we have a responsibility and duty of care. In the second case, which is completely different, it's against multiple different platforms, not just TikTok being sued. And if you look, it's mainly against Meta and its Instagram side of things, not Facebook. As you see here, last year alone, Instagram had almost 4.5 times lawsuits against it compared to TikTok, and 14 times more than YouTube, with teens use more than any other social media. And you state the Communication Decency Act, which is federal, but you didn't go read the act and how these social media companies use it as defense. So when you say you have done research, trigger warning, etc., it because you haven't researched, and you're just bullshitting as usual. Anyway, let's lighten things up and compare Nitty to Herbert the pervert.
All right, boys, the best targets are old rich people. There's one now. Go get him.
Oh no, there's no police here to help me. I hope you don't find the money strapped to my thigh. Hey there, little fella.
I'm 48.
This whole place is a giant mind.
Mr. Herbert, I'm just here to collect for the newspaper.
Here you go. Oh, hang on now, Chris. Your fly's up again.
Thanks, Mr. Herbert.
Well, I hate to say it, but I guess we're supposed to dig this kid up. Any volunteers?
I dig kids.
They do, however, have a responsibility to protect users from what they see and recruit content moderators, also known as frontline soldiers. Keeping us and our loved ones protected from the harm that can be seen on the internet. Trolling being as bad as it is, I didn't realise just how toxic it was behind the scenes of social media.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Really, anyone with a singular working brain cell would know that a content moderator isn't going to be sat all day watching cute and funny pet videos.
In fact, the word toxic isn't strong enough. Some may have seen a video that went viral where a man had himself in the head whilst live on social media.
Wrong. I've not seen that video. A lot of people, I asked, haven't seen that video. Things like that have happened and been seen worldwide since the invention of live television. Let me give you some well-known examples, Miss Fish. Probably the most famous was John F. Kennedy's assassination. If you went to school then you would have studied that. Plus, if you have the ability to remember, Lee Harvey Oswald also received the same treatment on live television nationwide. What about 9/11s? That was broadcast worldwide and had billions of people watching as you saw humans jumping out the Twin Towers. You incorrectly used the word toxic to describe those kinds of viral videos. The meaning of the word toxic, whether as a noun or adjective, is irrelevant, unless you're saying Tuna and Nitty's relationship is toxic, or what comes out your mouth is toxic. Appropriate words to use in those situations would be vile, disturbing, dark, dangerous, distressing, frightening, difficult, upsetting, discomforting, troubling, unsettling, unpleasant, basically anything but the word toxic. Guess you failed English language at school.
I remember seeing the video, but I don't think I comprehended it was real, which is why I most likely wasn't affected by it.
Stupid idiot. Stupid idiot. Stupid idiot!
That's just how trolls view people, as if they're not real. And this is just one instance of what could slip through and make it to millions of users' algorithms.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
This proves how much a liar you are. Videos like that get taken down pretty quickly. Obviously not before some people have managed to download or copy it, so by the time the word gets out, you have to go searching for it, and when you do get it, it's normally from a dark website, not the original.
Thousands of parents were having their children remove accounts in fear that they would see the video, as TikTok struggled to control the video going viral after being uploaded millions of times.
Why the f*** lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop lying.
Another dangerous lie by you. I hope one day a social media platform sues you for defamation, slander, and false information. The case you're quoting happened on Facebook, which I do remember. It went viral on all social platforms, not just TikTok. And the problem was that the Facebook and TikTok moderators could not keep up with the amount of reuploads, reposts, because like a computer virus, as soon as they got one, another 10 would appear until an IT expert could update the algorithm to help out the human elements. So another toxic bit of misinformation from your mouth. Yes, I used the word toxic correctly, unlike you.
So what exactly does being a content moderator entail? Moderating for certain creators can be toxic and draining, as well as a lot more that goes on between creators and some of their moderators.
What the hell is going on?
Okay, what the actual My AI is going to be as smart as a kettle if Tuna keeps saying dumb shit. A moderator for a creator is not a content moderator. A social media manager or agent is not a moderator. Content moderators are directly employed by the company. I'm sure anyone who moderates for Nitty or yourself will find that draining. Muting several thousand accounts a day while having to tap and gift Nitty would even drain most stupid people. If brain-eating zombies only ate the brains of you, Nitty, and your moderators, then those zombies would die of starvation. Bob Geldof would have to do another Live Aid, or Dead Aid as it would be called. They would have to rewrite the lyrics to Do They Know It's Christmas, from Feed the World, to Feed the Undead. I can sense official tick-tick drama, laughing like a sausage at that burn. Tuna, my comment burned you so bad you're like a battered and grilled tuna.
But platforms also have content moderators. Facebook was one of the first to be sued for negligence. and had to pay $52 million in the case of Scholar versus Facebook, and ordered to make significant workplace changes.
Why are you the way that you are?
So congratulations, you have read off Google and Wikipedia but misquoted. If you actually read the articles properly, you would see it was an in-court settlement, but there is more to it than that. Firstly, those that were affected and part of the claim were entitled to a $1,000 payout. If they suffered any mental health diagnoses linked, they could claim up to $5,000 to cover medical expenses, as you have to pay. Also, Facebook has paved the way for how content moderators in all companies. Now, as a qualified private investigator in America, I can legally get the court dockets, which I did. Facebook agreed to have clinical support employed to help with moderators who have seen something triggering. But what bugs me most about this, and it's down to America's suing culture, when these people applied for the job, saw the job description, did they not think that they are going to see videos and read messages covering the most taboo, violent, adult material of an illegal nature? Common sense.
You slimy. Uh-oh, moving. Uh-huh. Aw, $20. I wanted a peanut. $20 can buy many peanuts. Explain how. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. Woohoo!
Content moderators work 12-hour shifts with a 1-hour lunch and 2 15-minute breaks.
Oh my God! Wow!
So Tuna, did you look up America's labor laws? No, if moderators are getting 1 hour and 2 times 15-minute breaks, that is 2.5 times the minimum set in law, which is 20 minutes and paid break per 6 hours worked. In the continents of North America and Europe, if you work for an emergency service or in places such as hospitals, including local GPs and dentists are also included, as part of your contract is a waiver where you could work through breaks or over 12 hours. A prime example of where this happened was during the Global Bastard in 2011. Local doctors were working through the night and at hospitals to help out. Dentists were helping at hospitals in anesthesia and in maxillofacial. A lot of people didn't know that.
Candy Frazier, a woman who worked for TikTok, said she had to watch hundreds of videos per day, multiple at a time, and for a minimum of 25 seconds. Content moderators watch countless hours of videos containing cannibalism, animal and suicide.
Like I said earlier, what type of videos were they expecting to see? The thing I agree with in all the lawsuits mentioned is the minimal safeguarding, mental health support in place, and the ability to take a few minutes if you got triggered by something you saw.
TikTok failed to protect the mental health of employees who have suffered psychological trauma and PTSD and are currently in the process of suing TikTok. Upon interview, these people were told that they would be the frontline defense protecting children from seeing pornographic content and violence. However, one lady said, "We would see death and graphic nude children every single day." She also said, "I would see people get face and kids getting beaten. Videos even included the of children."
Well, she was told and warned yet still is complaining. That is an employee with no common sense. Like I said, you don't need to be smart to know what you're going to be viewing in that job.
This is a side of social media I had never considered. Regular people like you and me are having to see hour upon hour.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were having a state the obvious contest. I'm competitive by nature.
Well, you have just proved by that comment that your brain isn't working properly, that you lack common sense. Your intelligence is just above the level of a crushed walnut, and you're nothing but a
Filthy, dirty, disgusting, skanky, brutal, bottom-feeding, trash bag hoe!
Day after day to make a living. Living in such a violent world, and those who are allowed to use social media want to bring more hate to the world, to vulnerable people, families, and children.
What the f*** is wrong with you?
There it is, the point of this whole codcast episode. You have managed to get it back to your narrative of you and Nitty being trolled. Your narcissistic personality disorder strikes again. It's all about me, 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 me. All those videos are nothing compared to what me and Nitty suffer.
But the government's new proposals definitely have my approval.
You obviously haven't read the full bill, because if you have, it won't have the Tuna West seal of approval.
The online safety bill protects users from online trolling. However, critics say it kills free speech, and who would even be willing to hand over identification, and who exactly would we be handing it over to?
Are you stupid or something?
Ofcom would be responsible for enforcing the online safety bill. But while the UK is not pushing for a complete ban on users remaining anonymous to protect freedom of speech, they will give users more control over who can contact them, hoping to also stop the hate served to them by rogue algorithms. So on mainstream platforms, trolls can keep their freedom of speech, but with potential limits on their freedom of reach. Although this cannot stop trolls posting, it can stop victims being exposed to it. And in order to maximise our freedom of reach under new proposals, we would have to provide identification. For anyone who is unwilling to verify themselves will become a second-class user, which other users will have the ability to block. I hope I've opened your mind for you to do your own research on the new world that we're currently living in, the digital world that your children are growing up in.
Again, Tuna, you have cherry-picked the bill and quoted it incorrectly. The main part is protecting children and to verify a child's age so that child is protected. Also, it encourages and protects freedom of speech. So when people like Vegas Brit, official TikTok drama, and a lot of the trolls do their funny videos, they get more protection, covered by parody, satire, things like your lying codcast full of dangerous misinformation, and anything Nitty does will be much easier to get removed and banned. So the online safety bill gets the Vegas seal of approval. I suggest you find someone with a working brain cells to read the bill in full and then deliver the bad news to you, while I sit here laughing my ass off.
Remember, you are strong, you are worth it. Lots of love from me to you.